So.
Well, before we get started, you're going to be pissed at me. And I'm sorry. After I poured the martinis, I went to take care of a couple of dishes. I set my glass down. And I wasn't used to wearing a bulky coat. And I knocked the safe house glass over. And I broke it. I'll have to go back to the safe house sometime soon. Because my Friday glasses died.
Did you hear about Briley's Harry Potter water tumbler that she got from Alicia for her birthday? She had it on her desk at Latin. She put her backpack down and it knocked it over.
And it broke?
It broke. Like, badly broke.
That's sad too.
Yeah. So I'm going to reach out to Alicia and find out where she got it and get a replacement because she loves that thing.
Yeah. But my Friday, there was a bit of drink left in it. My compulsion to do dishes has betrayed me.
So are we going to the safe house for your birthday then?
That's an idea.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Here's my glass.
Yeah. So I'll have to grab another big old glass that is appropriate for Fridays.
I was wondering what was taking so long.
Yeah. Well, I also had to wake the girls up about 3 times to get them off the couch.
Gosh.
So anyway, that aside.
So in our last video, we were rather distracted by the election.
Yeah.
You can tell we're not...
Despondent.
Oh, Tuesday night was so fun.
Oh my gosh.
After we were done, we threw on the Daily Wire live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fucking glorious.
They had the same trepidations we did. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to light the cigar yet. Not going to light the cigar yet. And
then they lit the cigar.
It took a while. Like, states slowly trickling in. We got Pennsylvania.
Got Wisconsin.
Well, Wisconsin was the tipping point. Like, it was a bunch of people were like, thank you, Wisconsin, because Wisconsin was literally the one that put him over.
Trump won not just the electoral, he won the popular vote. So you can't, so that the talking points of, oh, we gotta do away with the electorate vote. Like, no. America spoke very loud and very clear. We are done with your fucking propaganda.
Yep.
You have pushed us all over the edge. And the thing is, the mainstream media, the left, they are blaming the American people. There's no self-reflection going on at all. There have been a few comments are like, maybe we have to do some inward.
Yes, I have seen some from the left being like, this is the left's fault.
Yeah, it is.
And props to them. Because, honestly, I don't want the eradication of the left.
Mm-mm. That's what makes this country great, is the balance.
Yeah.
You know, I just want it to be where if the Republican wins, okay, not what I wanted, but fine. And if the Democrat wins, okay, not what I wanted, but fine.
Yeah.
Like,
let's hope that this improves our country.
And here's the thing, though, and I hope I'm not in an echo chamber. I hope I'm not, like, doing that, well, you know, my side is better thing, but January 6th aside, and January 6th was just overblown to an extreme. It was stupid and terrible, and pretty much everyone, like on Daily Wire, like Ben Shapiro has said, that was not good. January 6th was not good. I don't like how Trump handled that. But so, like, a lot of even just the very, very far right people are like, yeah, no. But the issue they have with it is how it was so overblown.
It was insanely overblown.
Insanely overblown. And, like, especially in comparison to the BLM riots that had happened just several months prior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was the hypocrisy of it and the fact that, no, this wasn't an attack on democracy. Because when push came to shove, on January 20th, it went smoothly.
It all went fine.
So, all that to say, Trump won. We were really excited because when we were watching the live stream, it said 100% votes were in, and that Hovde beat Tammy Baldwin like 50-49 or something like that. But then it wasn't 100% because shit came in overnight and we woke up to Tammy Baldwin winning.
And there's a lot of chatter nationwide about that particular one.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't heard anything from Daily Wire on that.
Interesting. Yeah, they're not going so far as to jump off the whole like invalid and this
or
is
like
stolen.
Recount or
I mean, they're saying it should probably be audited because it was pretty extreme. Like, yes, okay, that Milwaukee was delayed because there was an issue with counting, and so yes, there was a lot of absentee ballots that had to be counted at the end of the night, but it was like the count for absentee ballots had to be about 90 to 95% Baldwin for her to have actually overtaken Hovde with how everything shook out. It's like that percentage doesn't make a lot of sense in any way. Yes, of course, there were the Milwaukee absentee ballots. Milwaukee is heavily Baldwin, but it was like 65, maybe 70% to Baldwin. What was counted at the end of the night was 90 to 95% Baldwin. So a lot of people are like, somebody needs to look into this because, and they're citing that one specifically.
Interesting.
Just saying is all I'm saying.
Well, again, I was very confused because when we were watching, it said it was like 100% of the votes were in.
Yeah.
Whatever, like, I don't particularly like her, but here's the thing. I'm not... My life isn't over. That particular outcome wasn't what I wanted. And maybe you could say, oh, well, you have the consolation prize of Trump having won. Like no, because at the end of the day, I want my state, my more immediate impact represented by somebody that I align with.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, nothing Tammy Baldwin, like whatever she's been doing, I don't feel like has really directly affected me. So
yeah.
This is called maturity.
I don't know what that is.
Anyway.
It
was amazing. We had a couple of sippers.
Oh yeah.
It was fun. And just watching the meltdown has been delightful and also just really sad.
Yes, it has been very sad.
You guys,
like so many people like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself if Trump wins, and it's like that's the left's doing, not the right's. It's not Trump's doing. It's the left telling people Trump is going to deport you. He is going to hunt you down. He's going to put you in camps. Like, they're pushing this thing so far that they have their own followers suicidal. And he would not do any of those things.
And then what did Kamala say in her concession speech? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. We'll be fine. Just gotta keep fighting. It'll be okay.
Yeah. That's something else I've seen. Like, if Trump is literally Hitler, like y'all have been saying, why would you make it a smooth transition? Why would you do that if he is as devastating and evil as you've been telling everyone? Something's got to give.
Mm-hmm.
But
we're the crazy ones.
And also, I mean, Biden, I'm not entirely convinced he didn't vote Trump at this point.
Oh, did you see Jill Biden's outfit?
Mm-hmm.
Head to toe red. I do not like that woman.
No.
But that troll was just...
What I've done.
The left is just, they're eating their own tail. And, you know, I don't hate them. I hate the...
I don't hate the people that think that they should vote that way for the betterment of the country.
No, I hate the people I hate that the people in power have created this.
Mm-hmm. And I'm happy
this isn't the right.
I'm happy they're not going to be in power anymore.
And the right is not perfect. And here's the thing. Again, going back to Ben Shapiro. He has called out, and Michael Knowles, like everyone at the Daily Wire, they have called out when the right is being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole thing with ousting Kevin McCarthy. What was it? Was it last summer? Not this past summer, but the summer before. Ousting Kevin McCarthy, who was doing fine as Speaker of the House, because Matt Gaetz had some kind of a personal beef with him for some reason that I still don't understand. Like, they were like, guys, stop
eating your own tail. That's for the left to do.
Stupid. Like, they will call it out when it needs to be called out, as opposed to what the left is doing, which is like, well, we're not the ones to blame. And, well, Biden should have dropped out sooner. Y'all, he ran for a second term and he was voted in. There was no incentive for him to drop out until you guys forced him out.
After telling us that he was totally viable.
And this is cheap fake. Oh, and I think that was probably one of the turning points. Like, even before Trump got shot, I think you can trace it all the way back to the debate.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone saying, he's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the legacy media saying, oh, no, he had a cold. He's fine. And all of these clips of him, like, having issues and, well, this is cheap fake.
Right. It's cropped weird. He was going to... he wandered off 7 yards away from the microphone because he was going to talk to somebody. There was somebody just off camera, I promise. But, to Biden's credit, in his speech after Trump was elected, he was completely clear. He was quick. He was speaking clearly and smiling. And suddenly there were no issues.
Kind of makes you wonder.
Doesn't it? About so many things. I don't know what to believe, but it's funny.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
We're 15.
Maybe he didn't really want to do this in the first place.
Maybe.
After this first term, and he was just like, and not that he wanted to get ousted or whatever, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Dark Brandon, man.
Brandon, maybe.
I
We should jump into the show assessment.
Yeah, sorry. That was fun.
15 minutes. That was fun.
So, yes. Trump won. Overwhelmingly. America has spoken.
Deal with
it. Jimmy Kimmel can kiss my ass.
Through his tears.
Oh, gosh. The whole... end of free speech.
End of free speech.
What rock have you been living under? Like...
End of free speech.
That one got me. Like, that one I was like... I actually... My jaw dropped. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now?
Yeah.
Is your head so far up your ass? Like, seriously? Is it really that far up that you can't see that it's your side?
Which side is about censorship? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Anyway.
All right, so we watched Lost in Space.
No, oh, Austin Space.
I know. All right, I know. I thought maybe you would breeze over it. Like, she loves me, and I take a lot of notes, and she respects me, and maybe she'll just breeze over it. But no.
I love you. We like Blaze tonight. Blaze Augustin. I tried to do the mom face to him, and he's like, mwah. Kiss me right on the lips. I'm like,
you
I'm a puddle now.
Son of a bitch.
I'm melting. Like, yeah. That little, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
He's a clever child. That's from his dad.
Anyway, season 2, episode 2.
Precipice.
Precipice. I will say, again, I think this goes beyond just, the fact that I was distracted in the last episode. Like, this episode was much more engaged.
Well, it was crisp, too. It was only 40 minutes.
It was crisp. There was much more enjoyable than the season opener.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would feel that way regardless of what we had going on Tuesday.
That's fair.
So we open on the crew going back into the ship after getting stuck on the precipice. The storm is still coming, so they have to work quickly. Maury gives them all their orders. Will interrupts to say they need to talk about the trench, but Maury says they have slightly more pressing matters right now. Interesting to note, she does tell him, we'll take a look at it.
Mm.
Smith asks for orders, and Maury says her job is to do nothing. Basically, like, unless we need you to sail again,
right.
You're done.
You served a purpose. Good for you. Now go back in your hole.
Judy and Maury and John set to work outside, intending to make the ship a kind of Faraday cage to withstand the lightning. Judy tells a cheerful story that Will told her about how the second guy to try the kite and lightning thing died instantly. John says Will needs to chill.
Yeah, they're setting up a kite to attract the lightning so they can harness it.
Inside, Will hears a ticking in the wall.
Snipe.
Severus Snape. Dumbledore. And Don tells him it's normal. Smith takes up residence at the window, and Will asks what she's up to. She gives a sob story about things looking pretty and not being useful. So what she's talking about specifically is this seaweed that is on the window.
Oh. Huh. Okay.
She's equating herself to seaweed. Oh, it looks like trash, but, they put it in your toothpaste, in your skin moisturizers, in your shampoo, and it's all meant to make you look, more beautiful. And Will's not having it. He's like, what, you want some kind of congratulations for helping us out? Like, you only did that to save yourself.
Right.
Good for you, Will.
Yeah, he's actually matured quite a bit. Despite his, childlike fascination with the robot, he's... Really? Can I stop fucking up?
We'll just switch out the...
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
He gave me his olives.
And then Leah realized I drank more than she did, so she didn't want me to trade martinis with her.
No, I think I drank more than you did, actually.
Yeah, he's actually matured. Aside from this whole, like, where's my robot thing, like, he's being useful. He's not just freezing up and panicking.
Yeah. So, yeah, he tells her to STFU. Smith grabs his arm and says they're connected through their connection to the robot. And he says they're nothing alike. And that comes back.
We're not alike.
Outside, Don gripes to Penny about their jobs. Penny complains that she always gets the dummy job. And Don's like, should I be offended by that?
Working with me as a dummy job?
And Don, meanwhile, revels in the lack of responsibility. He just needs to clean kelp off the side. He worries about it messing up the thrusters. And again, this show is doing something that we really respect in shows where you're getting characters that you don't really see interact a lot, interacting with each other.
Always love that.
Having back and forths.
Yeah. We had a lot of Don and Judy towards the end of last season.
Which they're setting that up for
maybe, yeah.
something.
But
it's a little weird because she's only 19, but
yeah. But yeah, we're getting some Don and Penny time, which, you know, it does actually fit because they're both played in kind of a comic relief sort of a way, but they're all so useful.
Yeah.
Don especially, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but Penny's basically having an emo moment of, you know, she doesn't even say this part, but I know she's alluding to the fact that, you know, she was in charge of taking out Dr. Smith for her walks or whatever, and, you know, now she's just helping Don with what she thinks are menial tasks.
And I appreciate that it was like, they played it in the last episode and in this episode, but it seems like it's not going to be a season-long thing. I feel like they kind of resolved it in this one. Maybe there'll be a little bit more of it. At least they talked about it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Don suddenly flinches. The kelp is biting him through his suit. It starts to paralyze him, and he falls into the water. Everyone acts quickly. John loses the kite, but it catches on a ladder, which I thought was pretty cool. Penny gets swept out to sea.
It was the sail rigging.
Yeah. Penny gets swept out to sea, like in the rushing water. Maury jumps to save her, and they both go over the falls. R.I.P. those two. Oh, wait, they survived this. Oh. Don't worry. They're at the bottom of the trench now, so Maury wanders around and investigates a bit. She theorizes that the metal is what attracts the lightning. Duh.
Oh, what?
I even got that, and I'm not, you know, an astrophysicist.
I mean, to be fair, metal at ground level isn't really going to attract lightning. Yes, it's more conductive, but...
But they saw those...
The spires.
Spires or whatever they were. Like, you didn't see that before? She sees some weird markings and photographs them. Don, meanwhile, is dragged to medbay by Judy and Will. The numbness is spreading, so Judy sets to work on him. They're quipping back and forth. It's just amusing.
Yeah, he's like, this is really embarrassing. Please don't tell your parents about this, or something like that.
John sets to work retrieving the kite. He almost gets it when his ladder collapses. He hits the deck and the kite flies away. They plan a new solution. The boys up top, the ladies down below. And we had a nice little juxtaposition.
Ah.
Maury and John say the same thing to Penny and Will individually. Like, I can't remember what the line was, but something like, there's always a solution or what have you. But it's interesting because with Penny, there's more, there's some animosity there.
Right.
Whereas with Will, it's that
duty bound kind of tell me what to do.
You could maybe put it down to an age thing, a sex thing, gender thing.
I think there's a lot that we could break down. We're probably not worth our time, but between the age of Penny and the age of Will, the gender of Penny, the gender of Will, the way it's said, I think, plays a big factor as well.
Yeah.
From Maury versus John.
Yeah. Penny seems dazed and worried. Maury reassures her while John reassures Will. In Med Bay, Judy puts Smith to work helping with Don. She tells Smith to clean up after her. Like, she's cutting all this kelp off of him.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
That's gonna
literally any responsibility Smith has, she's gonna like twist it in some way that's gonna benefit her.
Yep. Oh, a toxic weed? Sure.
I'll take care of that. No problem.
Don needs a blood transfusion. Judy doesn't match his blood type, so Smith offers an arm, saying she'd be honored. He resists, like drool coming down his mouth. But he has no choice. In the trench, Penny lists her worries, and Maury kind of snaps at her. They have an inappropriately timed discussion about Penny's usefulness. And I felt Maury so hard here. I really did.
Yeah.
Like, I love Penny, but it's like, girl, stop with this.
Yeah.
This,
woe is me.
Woe is me. To bring it to reality, it was Briley being all pissy about the fact that the movie I chose for the boys was one that Hannah suggested. And I'm like, girl, you're not even going to be here to watch it. You're going to youth group.
I missed that part. I was trying to figure out why there was any kind of conversation about this at all.
You know, it was like, she's like, well, I don't want to watch this. I'm like, you're not going to. You're leaving in 5 minutes. Well, Hannah was the one that suggested it. I'm like, why does it matter?
Got it. Context I did not have earlier. Okay.
I was trying to be
no, it was
light
fine.
about
you were
it.
fine. You were fine. And she dropped it when she realized she was not going to win this argument.
Because it was a stupid argument.
It was very stupid.
Like, why are you upset about this? Well, and I kind of snapped at her this morning because, oh gosh, I can't even remember what it was, but I can't remember what triggered it. But she, like, got all attitude and stormed off. And I'm like, and she was about to go into the bathroom or something. I'm like, I'm like, look, I have my faults. I'm trying. I'm gonna mess up. Again, I cannot remember what it was, but I was like, look, at the end of the day, you need to show respect to me. I am your mother. You need to show respect to your dad. You cannot roll your eyes and stomp off. That's not appropriate. We deserve respect. She had some fat tears rolling down, but ended up being fine.
All right.
I wish I could remember what it was that triggered that. But that triggered her reaction. But it's just, she's been very emotional lately.
She's going through some things.
Yeah, that's called being a preteen.
Girl.
And again, so I feel Maury here because I'm like, I love you. You know that I love you. And I think that's when she asked her mom. Was this the scene where she?
I have it in the notes. I know.
Okay, all right. So we'll get there then. Okay.
That's what I had to add in at the last moment. before I sent you the text. So I was like, wait, no, this came back. I have to make sure it's in the notes.
John and Will, meanwhile, are hard at work inside when they, too, have an inappropriately timed discussion about the robot. John handles it a little bit better than Maury did when Will has a plan. Make Maury and Penny their own Faraday cage, the chariot. So, again, going back to our favorite word, juxtaposition. Inappropriately timed conversations. The Maury and Penny conversations versus the John and Will conversations. It really seems like John has matured as a parent.
Yeah.
More so than Maury has. Because even I get it, because Maury's been around.
Right. She's used to a certain way of parenting.
And
like, I'm just trying to survive. I'm dealing all this on my own. Yeah. Just do what you're told. I don't have time for this.
And John is okay.
Just trying to connect with his kids.
I understand where you're coming from. This isn't really the time for this, but I get it. I see you.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of balk at stuff like, you know, gentle parenting or, you know, that whole like, I see you, I understand you thing. Like, no, you're the parent, but there has to be a balance. And I think we're seeing that dissidence when you're looking at Maury and Penny and John and Will. So that's a very nice comparison throughout the episode.
You're avoiding the word now. But, yeah, I mean,
but I'm using really good words.
You are. And they don't necessarily need to approach it the same way because, again, their audience is different at different levels of maturity. Again, different genders, that is a factor. So, it's not that John is straight up doing better than Maury or anything like that.
No.
He's talking to a 12-year-old?
10, between 10 and 12.
Yeah, I'm having trouble getting a feel for Will's age here, but, you know, he's talking to somebody younger. He has to have a little bit more of a gentle and patient approach. Penny is approaching, if not at maturity, and Maury's got to be like, control yourself a little bit. We have a situation right now.
Penny is at probably the worst stage because yeah, she looks like a teenager, but you know, she is developed. She's closer to adulthood. And we get kind of a little kickback then from Judy. I'm 19 now.
Yeah.
I'm an adult. Well, it's like, okay, you're not even 20 yet, though.
Right.
You're still a teenager.
That's one of those things, you know? Legal adults.
So...
What are they?
And, you know... So I kind of... With that one video I showed you at the beginning of our evening, with the universities offering, you know, basically, you know, expensive daycare sort of things. There is something to be said about the fact that these college students, maybe what it's more geared towards are the 18, 19-year-old crowd who aren't legal adults. So you can't offer them, you know, booze. But it's still like it's not this.
No, you don't need to be gentle with college students. I'm sorry, you don't. Even if they are immature, they need the harsh reality doled out to them that it's time to mature.
Ironically, that's what bothered me about Christendom.
Is that we were treated as children.
Yeah. I'm a legal adult and I need to get permission to watch a movie in my room.
Yeah.
But it's a weird double-edged sword.
It is.
Because it's like, I should be able to do this. What the hell? But to Christendom's credit, it's like, yeah, you're a legal adult, but you need to learn how to respect and obey the rules.
Right.
Even if you don't necessarily agree with them.
Treat it like a workplace, and
yeah,
you get it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to defend it, but
that hurts.
I know.
So I was always against that. Still kind of am. Like I graduated from Christendom. I love it. I think it's great for our culture.
All I learned was how to circumvent the rules. You have to understand the rules in order to break them properly. That's what I learned.
Regardless, let's move on. So yes, Maury and Penny are going to use the chariot as their own Faraday cage. Also, if they do that and tether the chariot to the Jupiter, they can still charge the batteries with the cable.
It's a metal cable, so that checks out.
Problem: the chariot is in the garage, which is underwater. Solution: John is a Navy SEAL. That was humorous.
And John's like, okay.
Will hears that mysterious ticking noise again. It's coming from the Noodly MacGuffin.
Which is what I will refer to it from now on.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Smith and Don are mid-transfusion, so John collects Judy to help cut the kelp off the garage. More discussion between Penny and Maury. Penny finally says what's bothering her and asks if Maury liked the book. Maury lies and says she read it, but it's clear to Penny she didn't. She asks Maury if she had a favorite part, and Maury says something generic. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say about that. Oh, well, it's not that Maury doesn't want to read the book. And I mentioned this in the last episode. She's got other things that are a little more pressing for the safety and survival of her family.
I don't disagree.
But she shouldn't have lied about it.
Oh, definitely not. But I mean, is she really spending 24/7 studying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I truly believe that because that's the kind of person she is. There's a problem. She is going to devote all of her energy into solving that problem. I mean, even look at the lengths she went to get her entire family off planet.
So that's another factor. Her urgency to get the family off planet.
Like off Earth.
Oh, okay.
Taking, doing some kind of a shady deal, blackmail thing to get Will approved.
Right. I'm talking about this planet, though.
Okay.
She was in a rush, in a way, to get off this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And John's like,
olives, but
they're a little soft. It doesn't bother me all that much. But, they're quick trip olives.
Autos.
Oh, okay.
I thought they would have a better selection, but they didn't.
She's hyper-focused on progressing. There wasn't actually a rush to set sail and get to the storm and everything like that. That's when everyone read the book.
But there was a Smith cutting the tarp or compromising. Smith created this immediate threat.
Everyone read the book before she did that.
No, because it happened that night.
Everyone read the book that night.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair.
I'm not saying she had to read the book immediately, and urgency happened soon after, but her family relationships are not her top priority. And I get it from a protection standpoint, but there wasn't a protection urgency at that point. She's just not prioritizing family relationships. She's perceiving more urgent issues. And I understand that she's taken upon herself to see all the potential issues. But family matters. Yeah.
Self-reflection. Oh, yeah, that hurts. Okay. So, meanwhile, Smith is reading parts of the book to Dawn. 29 minutes to storm time. John, Will, and Judy are hard at work cutting the kelp. Smith tells Dawn that since he's a smuggler, they're very alike. Dawn says when they get back to civilization, he'll go back to work and she'll go to jail. She says she knows that he ran from the Resolute instead of repairing it
as was his job.
As was his job, yes. His superiors may be interested to know that. She expects his cooperation when they get back to the Resolute. She expects loyalty. After all, they're blood brothers now. I'm going to take this opportunity to bring in that juxtaposition. Smith is this poisonous kelp.
Mm-hmm. She already compared herself.
Down to the transfusion, like, that was just, as a literary major, like, that's just...
It was good. It was real good. I infect your system and I numb from within. Yeah, it was really well done.
I'm wrapping my tentacles around this whole situation.
Yeah. And she's even draw in the slicing off, and Will helping with slicing them. He sliced her off. And she didn't infect. Ooh. Wow. Okay. The kelp got Penny and Dawn.
Penny wasn't... She was separated from everyone else with her mom because of the kelp.
Okay.
But she wasn't...
She wasn't paralyzed from it, but it did something to her, right? Didn't it?
In a metaphorical way.
And by the end of the episode, Smith has, from her perception at least, got her grips on Dawn more than anyone else. He was affected more by the kelp than anyone else. It didn't affect Will. And it grabbed Judy, but it didn't pierce her suit. And I think Smith even tried to talk to Judy, and she was like, nah. I don't know. I feel like there's something there.
There is. My hesitation comes because Don recognizes what Smith is doing.
He does. I'm interested to see what happens next episode when we'll see if her words actually had any effect on him. But I feel like the ending scroll specifically when he's talking while they're all working together seems to be that it didn't really get to him. It's not going to change him.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
That whole speech happens as he recovers from the kelp's poisoning.
Yeah, and then you've got Penny.
Mm-hmm.
The kelp didn't get her, but because of what the kelp did to Dawn, it separates her. Granted, with her mother, but her mother went after her.
She did.
So there's something there. And I think that kind of goes back to Maury's overreaction in the last episode when Penny was suffering from the motion sickness.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh yeah, Smith told me that, no. And then she just completely, freaked out.
Yeah, it was the right message delivered the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it delivered just a little bit of a divide. Like, this person helped me. I just liked being helped. I like that I feel better, but you don't seem to like that.
Yeah, and we'll get there at the end here.
All right.
Okay, we still got a little bit to go here. Outside, Judy appears to be bitten by the kelp. She says it didn't puncture the suit, but John sends the kids away while he finishes up, and Judy fights that. Oh, I'll come back.
Oh.
He opens up the garage, and they all escape the garage. They send the chariot down the trench. Maury asks if they had trouble, and John says with pride that he, Judy, and Will were able to handle it. Unfortunately, the chariot stops halfway down. Someone's calculations were screwed up, but Maury says Penny figured it out. The rigging from the sails should help. Don has regained his mobility and monologues to Smith that the Robinsons are still going to do the right thing and send her to jail. Smith, we'll see about that. Maury and Penny are climbing the sail rigging up to the ship as seconds tick away. The radios are knocked out from the electrical storm. They make it to the chariot. Maury admits that she didn't read the book, and they make up as the lightning strikes. Huzzah! They're able to take off the ship, chariot in tow. They get to a safe distance and reel them up. The chariot is fucked, but they open it up to find Penny and Maury inside. And again, it's so subtle, but the acting, when the chariot is opened up, Penny especially, that the actress who's playing Penny is doing such a great job, because that's her sense of relief is so palpable.
Yes.
It is so well acted.
It really is.
It was like it wasn't like I was watching an actor acting a scene. It was, this girl has actually been through a traumatic event.
Yeah,
and she is relieved.
It wasn't this rising music, weeping. No, it was.
It was a.
Yeah.
And
it was quick, and it was subtle, and it was. You're right. It was just really well done.
That I want to see that actress in more things.
Yeah, I have no idea who she is or what she's done, but I agree.
Maury, being safe at the camp isn't looking so bad. Lol. John and Judy have a quick discussion about her responsibilities. And John gives the just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you should speech. Because she's like, I'm 19 now. I feel like you need to give me more responsibilities. And he's like, and this is actually what, he didn't say it in this scene, but in the scene where he was trying to send them away, and she's like, no, I can, he's like, you are the only doctor here. I need you to be able to save people.
Yeah. If it had gotten through your suit, what the hell would I do? This is actually him showing respect to her talents.
Exactly. And it is that Jurassic Park, just because you can, doesn't mean you should. And I love that.
And it's actually, you could make the argument there's a juxtaposition to her and Penny, because Judy is doing, she's doing dummy work, which is what Penny was complaining about. But it's like, Judy, we need you for bigger things right now. If something were to happen, we'd be screwed. You're more valuable than this. And she's irritated that she's not being put to work. Whereas Penny had been doing menial work, still important, valuable, but yeah, menial work. And she's irritated that she's not being given big responsibilities.
She's what, 15, 16 years old?
16, I think.
It's like, doesn't work like that.
Also, we have a severe shortage of manpower. Like, everybody has to do everything. So just chill.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really cool. Really interesting assortment of abilities and what needs to be done, and they're doing a great job with it. It's cool.
So Will hears the ticking, whatever sound again. The bad robot's disembodied arm comes to life, and they talk about how and why. Will wants to talk about it, but Maury's more concerned about whether this means there's more of them out there. And this is where he was like, well, you said we could look at the trench. And she's like, nope, we gotta go.
We're good with the trench. We're done with the trench.
She takes a moment to look at her laptop and sees it waterlogged or something. Yeah, I didn't quite get that. That was weird.
And then they focused on some crate or something that, I don't know, didn't have
the
water.
The crate has the arm in it? Or,
I don't know what that scene was. And it kind of bothered me that I had no understanding.
Yeah. In medbay, everyone's fine. Smith compliments Penny on her book. Penny asks if Smith had a favorite part, and she does. She asks her about her desire to go off on her own. Penny is flattered but guarded. Smith asks if she can hang on to the book, and Penny says it's fine.
So Penny asked Maury if she had a favorite part, and Maury had a generic answer.
But they already had that come to Jesus moment.
They did.
So,
but still.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why you didn't. I understand that you're sorry you didn't read it. But Smith did read it. And Smith has had nothing to do, so, you know.
And I hope that Penny, as young as she is, can maybe see where this very blatant manipulation is something that she can use.
So it's going to be addressed, right? Like,
it is going to be
set
addressed.
It up. It's a thing.
So the question is Penny going to be taken in by it?
Right.
Or is she going to play it for everything it's worth? Which way is she going to go?
Well, I don't think she's going to go evil.
No, but, you know, she could go Dawn from Buffy direction.
I don't like that comparison. But Smith, I get it. Smith focused on Will in the first season, manipulated him. Her target is clearly Penny in this season.
Yes. The difference is when she targeted Will, nobody suspected her.
Right. Everybody knows what she is now.
Penny included.
She has a stronger connection with Smith than anyone else right now.
Right now, yes. Is she going to be taken in by it? Or is she going to use it as leverage?
I think that's up to Maury. Maury needs to connect with Penny so that Penny doesn't see Smith as an alternate mother figure.
Which is very interesting, given what we're going to see in the last scene here. Cut to Will looking at his toy robot. Penny brings him Maury's camera with the pictures of the markings. He's grateful and tells her that if the robot can't find them, he's going to find it. Penny says, good.
I like that Penny and Will continue to have a strong relationship.
And also, I like that the show is not allowing this robot ex machina every single episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Will's obsession aside.
Yes. Now in space, John and Maury chat when they hear an alarm. Not an alarm, an audio signature. It's resolute, it's not close, but it should be within flying distance. Smith sneaks about. She gets some kelp from the garbage can and stores it in Penny's book, which is actually Maury's copy.
Yeah.
So, she may have overplayed her hand a little bit.
So, gosh, there's a lot of ways I could go with that. Will Maury be like, all right, I'm going to read Penny's book. Hey, where's my copy? And if she does, will she get, poisoned by the kelp? Or, well, okay. Tell me why you think Smith saved a little bit of the kelp.
To take out Maury.
You think so?
Yes. And
to sabotage the book, or to save a bit of the kelp for herself to use at a later date?
I think to sabotage the book.
Okay.
Now, given Penny and Maury's issues, could that be like, I'm gonna make people turn on Penny? Like Smith saying, Smith maybe framing Penny.
Oh gosh.
It's a bit extreme.
I think that would be Smith overplaying her hand.
Yeah.
I
don't think she's actually thinking that far ahead. I think she just wants to incapacitate Maury.
Have a weapon of some kind.
But she doesn't realize if that works, then that's going to bring Penny around to Maury.
Yeah, and it's also going to lose any favor that Smith had gained with Maury.
With Penny?
With Maury. I mean, if she tries to pin it on Penny, it's not going to work. There's no way that Penny would try to poison her mom.
No matter how mad she is.
Yeah. So,
I mean, Briley and I have our differences, our issues, but she would never harm me.
Not right now.
Maybe once she finds out that Lindsay Sterling is playing at the halftime show, the game that we're going to.
Maybe then. But yeah, Smith has to play this very carefully. Yes, okay, she has a weapon. But if she tries to pin it on any of the crew, they all like each other too much to believe that.
Yeah.
And if she's just straightforward about it, like, yeah, I just poisoned you, then it's going to undermine any favor she's gained by being useful. So I think she's going to very much slow play it. I don't know how she's going to pin it or what she's going to do with it. She almost has to play it like an accident.
Well, that means that she's got to manipulate Penny more.
Yeah, which seems to be the direction they're going.
Yeah.
So this show tends to set something up and then fulfill it in the next episode, which is something that Fall of the House of Usher did. But I feel like for this, they need to give it a couple episodes. She needs to really slow play it for the duration of the season in order to play her hand in an effective way. So I'm very interested to see what they do with it.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're almost at an hour.
An hour.
All right.
Good?
Yep.
Till the next one.